Hi guys, welcome to this video on Cetking. This video talks about how to study like Bahubali the movie. I'm not talking about Bahubali as a character or Prabhas as an actor, but as a movie, how they marketed the movie very nicely. Same way I want you to. Fine. So what they did, they earlier launched Bahubali 1. So they had a good plot, which was a huge plot. So they wanted to divide into two parts, part 1 and part 2. Brilliant strategy to make more money, obviously, that way. But they ended up part 1 with a very nice climax, which make everybody eager to see part 2. And then they launched part 2, which was a roaring success. They made crores of rupees. The same way we are going to study. Same thing I want you to implement in your studies. Fine. So let me explain what I'm trying to say here. Alright, second example is there were two parts. Prabhas have two roles. Fine. Role as a dad, the earlier Prabhas, and the second Bahubali, the dad, Bahubali the son. So dad wanted to be the empire, was a king. He was going to rule the thing, but he was killed. So same way we are going to study as well. We are going to study part 1 first, and then complete as part 2. Okay. I know I'm giving a stupid example here, but trust me, I make the main thing is I want you to make your point home that how we are going to study. That is more important. Okay. Fine. So this is the way we study. Fine. For example, geometry is one huge topic. I'm taking example. Take any example, whichever you want to take. Fine. I'm taking geometry here. I study geometry every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, one full week. I need 1 week of time to complete geometry because this is a big topic. Fine. But what is going to happen? Two things. Number one, if I put 1 week, my exam is after 4 months, let's assume. If my exam is after 4 months, I study geometry for full 1 week. Uske baad, I will not having any motivation to do geometry again. So for next 4 months, I'll do other topics and ignore geometry because in my mind, I've already done the topic. एक बार पूरा tick हो गया मेरे दिमाग में. But the problem is, being an Indian student, we are not used to retaining the data for that long. यार 4 महीने पहले पढ़ा, exam के time पे याद नहीं रहेगा. So obviously you will forget a lot of things which you remember, which you have learned earlier. Fine. So that on the exam day you will feel the heat because most of the things you don't remember. You won't remember the formulas. We will not remember a lot of things. So you have to revise. Okay. So that's where the strategy will fall. This strategy will fall. Second thing is the motivation to study that long. Especially for the people who don't like maths. For example, I am not working, I'm not doing anything, I'm just sitting at home and studying. I'll put 8 hours on geometry. Next day will become 6 hours. Next day 5 hours. Karte 4 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour. Last 2 days I'll just survive. Fine. My study graph is going to start with a very high level, but gradually is going to fall. Fine. This is exactly what could have happened with Bahubali. They had a 2 years ka gap in part 1 and part 2. Fine, there's a huge gap, trust me. So if they've not ended the part 1 on a high note, part 2 dekhne kaun jata? Okay. So we're not going to cover up all our beans, all geometry complete in part 1. That is 4 months before the exam. We'll do it in 2 parts. Okay. So let's do how to do that. Number one, we're not going to study the whole week. We're going to take a 1 day off. For example, if you are a working or a college student, you can't take a Sunday off because that's the only day you are getting at home to study. So take a Friday off. So Friday, I'm not going to open my books, is my holiday. Okay, holiday. Fine. So 6 days working, 6 days study, 1 day I'll take off. If you are not working, non-student, take a Sunday off because family have off. You can be with your family and enjoy your life as well. Okay, so 6 दिन काम करेंगे, study. Alright, so how I want you to implement this strategy now. So let's do geometry for 3 days only. Okay, we're not going to do geometry for 7 days. Only 3 days we're going to complete. So for example, there are 100 questions in one chapter of geometry. So we're not going to do 100 questions. We are only going to do 30 questions. 30 questions per chapter is a target. And that can be done in 3 hours. Fine. Now geometry being a bigger chapter, obviously we need to do more questions. So let's say 30 of angles, 30 triangles, 30 circles. The 3 parts of geometry. Triangles, circles and angles. Fine. So we'll do 30 questions per chapter. 30 questions are a very good number to get a feel of the topic. Once you understand the topic, we can move ahead. So that, for example, now in Cetking book, we have got 60 questions per chapter. I'm not going to do all 60 questions of that chapter in one go, in 1 week. I'll do only 30 questions. I want to create the hype. I want to stay hungry so that I come back to the topic after 2 months. Okay, so 4 months ka time, we're going to divide into 2 months ka times. 2 months. Alright. So how we can do that? Strategy number 1, I can do geometry, 3 days geometry. 3 days something else. Fine. This will create the hunger in me for maths or the area which is my weak area. And next week, automatically I'll open maths ka book because I've taken a break from maths. Yep. Or you can do it like the way we go to gym. 1 day cardio, 1 day weight. So 1 day geometry, maths topic, 1 day English topic. 1 day maths topic, 1 day English topic. Fine. So 1 day the topic which is boring, 1 day topic which is interesting. Boring, interesting, boring, interesting. That's the only way you can survive for a long time. Okay, alternate day. Fine. So if you're able to spend more time, for example, you can spend 10 hours every day to study. So let's do 5 hours maths, 5 hours verbal. So in 10 hours ka time, I'm dividing in 2 parts. Maths 5 hours, verbal 5 hours. Next day morning verbal, evening quant. Next day morning quant, evening. So we are rotating the strike. This is very, very important to keep the motivation high for study. Trust me, biggest problem people fail is because of motivation. They don't want to study after some time. Okay, so let's break into. Alright, so what we did now, what we talked about, let me just summarize. So we have exam after 4 months. So strategy number 1 is what we discussed earlier. I'll do geometry first, complete equations, complete reading comprehension. Karte one topic, picking up every topic, 4 months tak pura syllabus khatam. Last 1 week I'm keeping for revising everything. Now when you open up your book again, 90% of the geometry concept you don't remember. And that's where people press the panic button. So what I want to do is, so we are doing 60 question here for the completing the full chapters. Now we are using strategy number 2, which is Bahubali strategy. We are going to complete everything in 2 months. Giving the complete overview, taking care of everything, doing 30 questions is my phase 1. And then I'll revise everything in phase 2. And then I'm going to revise third time. This is the best way you can do that. Fine. So let's play like Bahubali. So first 2 months, we're going to complete the full syllabus, Bahubali part 1, release everything. But hunger is still in me because I'm not completing the chapter. If I completed a chapter earlier, I won't have that hunger to come back. Now after 2 months, we'll again start and revise everything again. Fine. So instead of doing 60 questions next hour, let's do 30. This is the best way to learn and study. Alright. Fine. So if you plan to join our classroom program, we have a few programs coming up and you can join us for the Cetking classroom programs and online programs. Fine. So please subscribe to our videos here so that you can see our more videos coming up on this chapter. And you can do please message me on Facebook. If you have any more questions from me, I will be happy to reply to the questions. Alright. All the best. Thank you.